Hey guys, how you doing? My name is Leroy. I'm a 27-year-old entrepreneur in the Reading, Pennsylvania area. And today I'm going to be talking about why I'm starting this YouTube channel. So I'm starting this YouTube channel because I wanted to bring you guys along my journey of where I am today. Although that I started my journey back in 2018, where, me and my wife, we just bought our first house. And, from that to where we are now, I've definitely got some deals under my belt, but I kind of wanted to take it back and kind of bring you guys back because I've never physically introduced myself. So creating a YouTube channel was my way of introducing myself to you guys and bringing you guys value on why you should get into real estate investing, or better yet, start a business. I'm always preaching starting a business to my family, and I think this YouTube channel is going to help a lot of people around me grow, not only just for them, but just to be able to help the people around me, to also be able to help somebody that's out there who's looking to get into real estate or entrepreneurship. I'm going to talk a lot about real estate because I love real estate so much, but entrepreneurship, the journey for me has been real. As mentioned to you, I started the journey back in 2018 when me and my wife got married. We got married 2018, bought a house in 2018, and then after seeing when we bought our house, the process and what it looked like from the realtor standpoint, it seemed pretty damn easy. It didn't seem too hard, although that it could be hard. Don't get me wrong, it's not easy peasy, but once you get a system in place, things get a lot easier for your business. So I'll kind of just take you guys back to 2018, as mentioned to you guys. Prior to 2018, I was doing Comcast cable for many years. I was a technician. I used to go out, install cable. My wife, she was in school at the time, so I was the primary provider at that time. I was, essentially, while she was in school full time, I was out there working. And 2018, I kind of wanted to change, so I went out there and I took a test to be an electrician. Wound up flunking that thing. I think that was like my third time flunking it, which was completely cool, right? But I'm pretty sure I could have probably passed that thing if I would have really applied. But I think essentially gravity was forcing me, and God didn't want me to really do something like that, although I could have really done it, right? I went and I applied to be a low voltage electrician, and then I went and I applied to be a high voltage electrician, and then I wound up getting called back to do the high voltage electrician. But at that time, the local company around here called Meta, they send you away for school for like 2 years, but you can't they don't pay you anything, right? So my biggest goal was to get into union. As mentioned, I kept flunking that test. So the last time that I took that test, I remember it being like late 2018. And I remember, briefly studying for this thing. And I really felt like I had this thing under the wraps and I was going to pass it this time. And I remember the union, what they do is they usually would send you a letter letting you know whether or not you passed or if you failed. So you're waiting like 2 weeks to get into this thing. And I got a fail letter, but they give you the option to retake your test within 6 months. So I remember sitting down, coming home, getting this letter because I was super pumped, waiting for it, thinking that I passed it. And I remember coming home and read the letter with my wife, and it obviously said that I didn't get in. And I remember her looking at me and she can see the defeat in my spirit. She looked at me and she said, you can always retake this test. All you got to do is just apply yourself. You could take it in the next 6 months. And I remember just looking at her and she's like, hey, I could tell that you don't want to go retake. So if you don't want to go retake, then what do you want to do? And I remember just looking up at her and I said, real estate. And that was the first thing I said. And she had a whole bunch of questions for me. She's like, okay, so real estate, I support you, but what in real estate are you gonna do? And at that point, I didn't have an answer for her. So I went on YouTube University, like probably a lot of you guys who are, you know, either chasing the real estate journey or, you know, just getting into something new. You might go research it, whether it's Google, YouTube. For me, it was YouTube University, right? So my first person that I found was, and a lot of you guys probably know, if you don't know, his name is Max Maxwell. He's a big YouTuber. He focuses on wholesale and real estate. Well, that's what his channel used to be about, but it was focused on wholesale and real estate, and that's what I fell in love with. For you those don't know what wholesale and real estate is essentially when you would find a distressed property in the best neighborhood and you would essentially negotiate the best price possible, right, with the homeowner for a very low price, or, you know, a price that just makes sense, right? And then essentially what you would do is you would sell your rights to purchase the property. So essentially the contract, you would sell your rights to purchase to the property to an investor that will pay more for it. For an example, right? Mr. and Mrs. Seller wants this property sold for $10,000, and then you find Joe, the cash buyer, who's willing to pay $20,000 for this property. So you essentially would make that difference, the $10,000, and you would get Mr. and Mrs. Seller paid the $10,000 that you originally agreed on. So I found this method, and I remember telling everybody that I knew about it, and a lot of people were telling me that I was crazy, and well, not really crazy. They was telling me just to be careful with the whole situation just because it sounded a little too good to be true, right? So I remember, you know, doing it and studying and whatever the case may be. I wind up getting into a couple of Facebook groups and stuff like that. Then I bought my first list. When I say a list, it's a list of homeowners that are either pre-foreclosed on or they are absent. They don't live in the property, and the property is either sitting vacant or they have a tenant in this property. I believe my first list that I bought, it was an absentee list, and I wind up, you know, giving them calls on this list. Cold calling them is what we call it. So I cold called this list, wound up getting an appointment, and then I went out to this appointment and then negotiated for, I believe it was $25,000. You never forget your first deal. It was $25,000. I wound up selling it for $30,000. I made $5,000. I had a partner on this deal, so we just broke that down 50-50, and you know, we were able to get that first deal done within the same time frame that I had to retest. So that was my proof of concept that, hey, this business is real, it does work. So I wind up, you know, doing some more deals right after that. It was nothing crazy, and this is 2019. I believe I got, you know, another deal under contract, and probably like 2 months after I got that first deal done, doing the same method, cold calling, wound up getting an appointment and then signing an agreement with the seller. So anyways, I you know, got another deal under contract. That deal did fall through. Then I got another deal under contract. I wind up ordering some bandit signs at this time. For those that don't know what bandit signs are, they are literally like signs that you can post up on the pole that have your number on it, say we buy houses. So anyways, I wind up getting a call and then putting a deal under agreement from one of those signs, wind up selling that deal. And as mentioned, this is all 2019, so this is like my proof of concept here. And then in late 2019, I you know, really started to pick up within this business, but as mentioned, I still was working full-time cable, still was doing what I need to do in order to make sure that, you know, our house was taken care of. And then in beginning of 2020 is when I really, you know, had to make a choice, just because I was getting so busy in my business to where I wasn't able to actually do both. So I had to kind of make a choice, right? And I remember making a choice because I wound up picking up another part-time job that was way more flexible. So I was doing the part-time job, and then I also was doing my full-time stuff. They were both in the cable business. One was like burying underground cable, and then one was actually installing cable. And I had transitioned over to the underground cable, and it was super flexible because this guy, you know, he had a contract directly with the company, and you know, we were able to just like work on certain hours and stuff like that. So I was still able to do like my wholesaling business. So I wound up leaving the cable company and then going 100% underground with this guy. And I remember, you know, I had to take a couple days days off because my back sometimes gets cramps or whatever the case may be. I don't know where the heck these things come from, but my back got some cramps and I wind up taking a couple of days off. And this guy, you know, I called him back and I'm like, hey, I'm ready to come back into work. No reply, no text messages or anything. Like, I still haven't talked to this guy till this day. And for me, that was God just pushing me and saying, hey, you need to stop playing and you need to do this business full time. And I kid you not, right at that time, I got 5 contracts. This guy sold me a whole portfolio to sell, right? So I wound up doing that, and then that was able to kind of give me a kickstart to be able to kind of like get some rhythm in the business, right? And this is all in 2020. And then mid 2020, I wound up hiring a coach who, you know, I still talk to this day. His name is Isaac Grace. Shout out to my brother. He, you know, taught me a lot of the back end systems. As mentioned, I was already doing deals, but I wanted to see somebody who was successful in his business, who was like continually doing deals on a repeat. So I wound up, you know, getting onto his mentorship, his coaching program, to be able to actually scale my business, to be able to do more deals per month and sustain myself without having to go back to doing, you know, either Comcast or any kind of full-time job. Although, you know, I had thoughts that I could do both, and there was a certain point of my entrepreneurship journey where I thought, hey, I can double dip essentially. In reality, it would have just took away from time of my business. Wound up buying my first rental, partner up with my first rental in 2020, and you know, we're in 2022 now, and now I have a total of 5 rentals. My goal is to get 30 before 30. As mentioned, I'm 27, so I got a lot of work to do. And as mentioned to you guys, my goal is to be able to bring enough value to you guys so you guys can go out there and do deals yourself. Not only do deals yourself, but be able to, you know, create the financial freedom that you need for your family, whatever that may be, $100 a month, $200 a month, whatever, right? I just want you guys to be able to take advantage of the opportunity that I have been taking advantage of. I've been fixing and flipping, wholesaling, and then also I'm now a buy and hold investor, to where I'm holding and collecting a passive income per month that contributes to my household income. Not only that, you know, as mentioned, we're hitting crazy numbers in wholesaling. So my goal is to be able to actually scale this thing and continue to do it. And I want to bring you guys along. So that's why, you know, I'm creating this YouTube channel so you guys can follow my journey. Although that I've already got some deals under my belt, I want you guys to be able to watch me grow, because there's a lot more to go in this business. I'm just getting started, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, please like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell notification at the bottom to be notified every time a new video drops. Thank you guys for watching my video. As mentioned, we're going to be dropping a whole bunch of nuggets on this channel just to kind of give you guys, you know, a piece of what we do and how we do. I ain't holding nothing back. My goal is to be transparent. My goal is to be able to create bosses out there, to be able to help you guys scale, whether that's in real estate, wholesaling, whatever the case may be. My goal is to be able to add value to you guys so you guys can provide for your family, create financial freedom, and then each one teach one. That's our motto on this page. So hey, you guys, thanks for watching this video. As mentioned, like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell notification at the bottom to be notified every time a video drops. Take care, guys.